There are a few places that evoke the very best of what I love about Ireland. Inishmore is one of these places. Maybe it's the feeling that comes from a sense of being cut off from the rest of the world. Or it could be the raw power and wildness of nature being so obvious. I've now finished 4 chemo sessions and I'm taking the plunge for a trip with my bike and tent while feeling strong and able. Inishmore is situated on the west coast of Ireland and is part of an island group known as the Aran Islands. I'm always struck by the fact that the people who visit these islands are rarely Irish, and visitors mainly come on a day trip. Staying overnight allows for a very different experience, to explore and take time to appreciate all that's here. I've just landed in Inishmore and the Aran Islands, and I've just picked a really bad path to be recording audio. Woo! I'm on my way to a place known as Dún Dúchathair, which translates as the Black Fort. It's about 11:45 now, and it's going to be dark by about 4:30. So I've just got a couple of hours to take in a couple of sites. So I plan to take in 2 kind of key features on Inishmore this afternoon. The Black Fort, which I'm going to now, and then over to some blowholes. Whoop! This was a really bad idea. Beautiful day today, and looks like I'm going to get this nice weather for the rest of the day, and then it's going to change over the next 2 days. Okay, I'm going to stop now. So I'm just going to make the most of it while I have this nice weather and before it gets dark by about 4:30. So welcome to Inishmore. I've had to ditch the bike and I'm walking along the limestone now to take me over to Dún Dúchathair. So this is the second most famous fort on Inishmore. Dún Dughaith is the most famous one and has a visitor centre there and is really popular with tourists, so it can be very busy there. Possibly not in the end of November when I'm here, but over here at the Black Fort or Dún Dúchathair, I would be pretty sure I will see no one over here. This is definitely not as popular on the tourist trail, but it's absolutely magnificent. I can hear the water trashing as I'm coming closer to it now. I'm almost back at the bike now. There's a dog barking. And next stop is called Poill Séideáin, which translates as Blowholes. Here's the bike. Stopping for a quick lunch, banana and a roll. The bike is my mule, pulling all my stuff. I'm having to walk up this track to get to Poill Séideáin, the Blowholes, so there's more than one. Not sure whether there's two or three, but nearly there. I seem to have met the end of a track, so this is where the work is gonna really start to get to my camp spot. I'm gonna unload my stuff, somehow attach all my gear to my body, and stash the bike for the night. And I've no doubt it'll be completely safe. I'll just stash it behind one of the walls here. I just have about 200 meters to go. Because I've seen this camp spot before, I know it's worth this effort. Got the tent up. And now I'm going to go over and have a look at one of these blowholes that I'm quite close to. Wow. Good morning. Had a lovely night in the tent. It was really calm for the night. I had my winter sleeping bag, so it was nice and snug. It's beginning to get bright outside now. It's approaching 8 o'clock. The weather is forecasted to be completely grey and overcast for today. A tiny bit of rain at some stage in the late morning. And then a lot of rain coming in later on tonight. So I wanted to do 2 nights here. So I'm actually going to stay in a B&B tonight. I've one booked, and I'm going to leave some of my gear over there this morning, and then go off and visit another place today called Poill Séideáin. Hopefully that I'll be able to do that. So a little update following my little story in my last video. So I've started chemo and I've 4 sessions done, 4 of 12. I'm sporting a skinhead here, and it's a little patchy, but I've been fine with it, and I've just got the hat on to keep myself warm. So I've been tolerating the chemo pretty well. I don't want to minimise chemo in any way at all. It's early days for me, and the main kind of troubling side effects have been kind of low-grade nausea and diarrhea. And I'm on a 2-week break now at the moment. I get 1 session 1 week, one the following week, and then I get 2 weeks off, and I feel really good. This is the end of the second cycle. I'm back in again on this coming Thursday. But you know, I feel really good and strong, and I may not feel as strong as the cycles continue. So I have wanted to do this trip for a long time, so I went for it, and like I said, I'm feeling pretty good. And today I'm going to dump my stuff at the B&B, and then I want to cycle to a place called Poill Séideáin. It's going to be pretty grey and windy, as I said, but it's a really magnificent place. So I'd love to be able to see that today. And if I'm not able to, that's fine. I'll just come back to the B&B. So a lot of rain due in tonight. I'm going to be tucked up in a B&B, and I'll see how it is tomorrow. Tomorrow is showing a lot of rain throughout the day, so I mightn't be up to anything tomorrow, which is absolutely fine. The purpose of this trip was really to have this camp, and if I can show off Poill Séideáin, great. So that'll be the aim for today. The rain gear is on. It's started to spit rain a little bit. I've left my camping gear and cooking gear at the B&B, but I've had a change of heart and I may actually leave this evening because the weather's looking so poor this evening and tomorrow. Doesn't look like it's going to clear. So it was actually the Bannon T, the woman in the B&B, who suggested to me, why don't I just go at 5 o'clock this evening on the ferry, and she offered for me just to leave my stuff there. So kind of her. This is so interesting. I'm going to have to stop and take a few shots of this. I remember seeing this the last time. I don't actually know what it is. Just people have created these little cairn structures. So bizarre. Anyway, on towards bPéist, and we'll see if I can get that done and see that today, and maybe even just head off then this evening and just have a nice lunch along the way. Just landing at bPéist now. So the biggest thing to know about this is that this is not a man-made structure. This is natural erosion, which is just mind-boggling. Here it is. On my way back down now to Kilronan to catch the boat for 5. Decision made. I haven't even checked the weather. Maybe the 2 days was enough for me. Still feel good. So I'm taking the high road back to Kilronan. So there'll be a bit of a climb and there'll be a great descent then as well. So I hope you enjoyed Inishmore. I've had a great time. I used to have this fantasy for years and years and years that I'd love to spend a summer here. Like rent a little cottage. This is before I started wild camping. Still allowed to rent a little cottage and stay here for a couple of months. And a number of years ago I did take a year off work and I rented a cottage up in County Down instead. That had become a new kind of interest. It was by the coast and I could go walking in the morns and walking along the coast. But spending this time back in Inishmore again kind of reminds me of that longing of spending a long period of time here. It's a really nice place to get to.